Hi, it's Dan O'Dowd for another weekly session of Talking Baseball. Today we're going to talk about work ethic, more specifically precise work ethic. Right up front, I'm going to tell you talent is never enough. The best players I've been around in my career have also been the hardest working players. I've had so many players that I've watched, that I've talked to, that I've been involved in their development process and programs, tell me how hard a worker they are. And then when I watch their work, I think a lot of players confuse activity for hard work. Hard work for me is you have a very, very defined purpose to what you do every single day that you get on the field. So things like pregame stretch, playing catch, how you go about your bullpens as a pitcher, or ground ball work as an infielder, or your reads and breaks as an outfielder. Specifically things that you're working on in your batting practice routines. You need to have a purpose to everything you do. Activity is when you're doing those things without a defined purpose of what you're trying to accomplish within those activities. So that's the difference between hard work, defined hard work, and simply just activity. It's a key that you pay attention to detail. Skill development done at its best is done subconsciously. That's how you retain it. That's how it's applied when the game and the moment counts the most. To do that, you really have to pay attention to detail. And that all starts with your ability to be a self-starter. Honestly, I've never been around a player that has fulfilled whatever potential that they've been blessed with without the ability to get after hard work on their own. If you wait for a parent to tell you to do it or a coach to tell you to do it, you simply are never going to be as good as your own desire to research, to be able to go out and apply that research, to study, and to constantly be looking for ways to improve. And watching incremental improvements is really important. You know, in the game of baseball, small things lead to big things. So don't worry about huge jumps in your skill acquisition or how much better you're getting. Look for small incremental improvements. That's how you know if what you're practicing on is actually working. Okay, the next one I want to talk about is getting out of your comfort zone. Players that really improve have a way of understanding that the only way to do that is pushing beyond their perceived limits to where they have to be involved in a fight and a struggle to be able to take the next step in skill acquisition. It's working on a play defensively that you really struggle with, and then making that play even a little bit more harder, executing a particular sequence as a pitcher that you're really struggling to do. Whatever it is that makes you uncomfortable, that is specifically what you should be working at, because that is where you actually see your growth. So get out of your comfort zone as much as you possibly can. And the last thing that I want to tell you is practice at game speed. Practice at a high level of competition and a high level of energy. If you leave the practice field and you are not mentally exhausted from your desire to get better, and with that defined focus, if you're not mentally exhausted, then you've wasted your day. You have to prepare. And everything you do on a baseball field every single day has to be done where you're all in to be the very best you can be. So that is it for this week. We were going to get into a desire to learn a little bit, but this had so much meat on the bones. I'm going to wait next week to talk to you about your desire to be a consistent and constant learner in the game of baseball.